I can be painful, but dying itself is not. And it's not scary and it's not unfamiliar. It is, um, honestly, it's something that we've done before. And it feels almost like riding a bike because you know how you jump on and you go. It just didn't seem like a big thing where I was now floating above my body and going, oh, my poor body, or I worked so hard or whatever, or I didn't look at my body as me, because me was okay. Claudia was still okay. I was looking basically down at the suit that I wore to live on Earth. It was my space suit, my Earth suit. It went to the gym and it loved, macaroni and cheese and all of the wonderful things that a body, but it was just a nice pair of overalls that I was done with. And now I was free. And I started floating through the hospital. And I didn't even go, oh, I'm dead. It just seemed so normal. Everything that I was doing, going through a wall. I heard this music and I wanted to follow the music. And I ended up in a man's room and he was watching television. It was the MASH music from that show, the MASH. And as I got to the side of his bed, I realized that he didn't see me. And I kind of got in front of him and did a little, and there was nothing. He didn't see me. And that's when I went, oh, I must be dead. And as soon as I had that realization, I I popped out of that situation and I was in complete black. It was it was so perfectly black, dark. I couldn't see anything. There was no noise. There was no need to hear. I was just in a perfect place that was forever. It was it the vastness of it was hard to speak about, and yet I was curled up in it and swaddled and cradled in this. It was intelligent. It knew me. It knew everything about me, and it loved me. It loved me so much, and I was so perfectly safe and happy in this place of perfect nothingness. It was wonderful, and I could have stayed there forever. I was happy there, but I could hear the nurse calling my name, and I reached for this ear because this seems to be where I was hearing it, and it was itchy and scratchy voice because I was in this perfect quiet. And now here comes this voice, Claudia, Claudia, you've got to come back. You have a baby girl. She needs you. Well, I in my head, my mind, I'm searching for words because I didn't have either really. But in my consciousness, I was arguing with them because I was like, no, my baby died. And, I don't want to go back to all of that. It was just awful. And she just kept calling for me to come back. And I decided that she wasn't going to stop until I answered her. And so I was pulling every resource in my consciousness to form a word to say, no, just leave me alone. I'm fine. I'm going to stay here. But as soon as I tried to speak back to this voice, I was back in my body. Earth was created as a place of learning, and I'm going to say testing, but it's not like a test. You know how there are a lot of religions that they want you to come and be as angelic and sinless as possible so that we earn a way to go back to heaven, basically. That is not what I found. What I found when I went through the life review, there were screens all around me. and they were showing my life and my choices. And I could view everything as myself, but I also was viewing from the person next to me, or the person that I was talking to or being mean to or being kind to, and what they felt. I could feel everything they thought about me, or how what I did, how that made them feel. And some of it was wonderful, and some of it was, I sure could have been a nicer person, or I could have made a better decision that wouldn't have hurt that person, or I could have given something to that person that I walked by that really needed help. Or you view all these little things that seem so insignificant. And what we do when we're in that life review, and all those screens of us doing our lives, but we have a chance to learn from every single thing that we did, big or especially the small stuff that we don't even think about. The person we smiled to one day that was thinking about killing themselves, and suddenly someone's being kind to them, and it changed their life. And you can actually see they call it the ripple effects of the fact that they lived, and they found love, and they created a family. And one of their children invented the vaccine, a COVID vaccine, or the cure for cancer or something, that if they had killed themselves, that wouldn't have happened. And I got to play a part in that positive ripple out there. So when you talk about the earth and why we're here, it's just a really wonderful proving ground of these lessons. And because it's so hard, we're kind of like rock stars here, right? This is a tough choice. There are many, as we know in the universe, many planets and stars. And what I found in my near-death experience was the universe is teeming with life. There are all kinds of other places that we can go and do this a life on, but it won't be as intense as Earth. Earth has been created as one of the most intense learning, testing grounds. So we're rock stars here. We're doing it. If we can accomplish this and we go back and go, man, I did my best. It was really hard. And we're getting hoorays and claps, but there's a reason for it. But I don't want to scare anybody about the afterlife. It's amazing, and it's loving, and it wants us to just learn and experience. We all want that little piece of God within us. We all want to get back to God. And the only way to do that is through advancing our spirituality. The more we learn and the more we accept and the more that we love, we're that much closer to God. So when you're in that life review and you see something that you've done that's not as kind, you actually in your mind, and it's like you take a couple of steps back because you don't feel worthy to be with God. God doesn't step backwards, we do. So but we all have that drive, and we all want to succeed in getting back to God.